But I just lost my page. But the Fever star is continuing to take steps toward full strength. Fever coach Stephanie White told Indy Star on a Fever Insider podcast episode launching Wednesday this week. Clark isn't yet back playing 5-on-5, but she has been playing 2-on-2 and 3-on-3.
Hold on. Did you catch what he just revealed? Caitlin Clark isn't dealing with just one injury. She's recovering from 3 separate injuries at the same time. A right groin injury, a left ankle injury, and another groin issue that ended her season. The Fever described it as a week-by-week situation, but let's break down what that really means. When a franchise uses that exact phrase, they're buying time, managing expectations, and most importantly, protecting themselves from accountability. Because here's what no one's talking about. How does the league's biggest star suffer 3 major injuries in a single season? That's not bad luck, and that's a pattern. And before you assume this is just about recovery
up toward 5-on-5, Stephanie White and the Indiana Fever, I'm going to be real. I really wanted Caitlin Clark to train elsewhere with somebody else. I just don't trust the training with the Indiana Fever. I don't trust Stephanie White has the best interest of Caitlin Clark. I really don't. I don't think she knows how to utilize Caitlin Clark. I think she likes the idea of Caitlin Clark, but she's not comfortable with how she plays. Stephanie White likes a slow, methodical.
There it is. I don't trust the training methods within the Indiana Fever organization. This isn't some random hot take. It's a legitimate concern backed by evidence. Think about the timeline. Caitlin Clark appeared in only 13 games, just 13 out of an entire season. And now she's limited to 2-on-2 and 3-on-3 drills while the offseason slips away. Every day she's not playing full contact 5-on-5 basketball is another day her skills aren't being sharpened against real competition. But here's the deeper issue. No one's connecting the dots. Stephanie White's coaching philosophy fundamentally clashes with the way Caitlin Clark plays the game. Pay close attention to this next part because it explains
college coach that likes to control the game from the sideline. And Caitlin Clark likes to get up and down, have that freedom, play that read and react system that we all have grown to love to watch her play. And Stephanie White is just not, she's just not super fond of it. She's just not super fond of it. It's not her thing. So I am concerned with Stephanie White being Caitlin Clark's coach going forward, to be honest. But
likes the idea of Caitlin Clark, but she's not comfortable with how she plays. Let that sink in. Your franchise player, the face of the entire league, is being coached by someone who doesn't fully embrace her natural style of basketball. Stephanie White prefers a methodical, controlled offense. Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, thrives in chaos, in transition, in that read and react freedom that made her a generational talent at Iowa. This isn't just a difference in philosophy. It's a fundamental incompatibility that directly affects her health. When players are forced into systems that restrict their natural movement patterns, their bodies compensate in unnatural ways, creating a higher risk of injury. The groin injuries, the ankle sprain, those aren't random. They're biomechanical consequences of playing constrained basketball. And here's what
the Indiana Fever will win the title, because I don't trust Amber Cox and Kelly Crosskoff and Stephanie White to pick the right pieces. We saw all the mistakes they made last season, going and giving DeWanna Bonner a max contract, who was terrible for majority of the year, not just with Indiana, but with Phoenix too. She was terrible a lot of the time. Giving Natasha Howard a max contract, promising her things. You got her coming over here thinking she gonna win MVP and all types of nonsense. So although I do not trust them.
Did you catch that roster construction? DeWanna Bonner received a max contract and was ineffective for most of the year. Natasha Howard also landed a max deal with promises of MVP-level performance. This isn't smart team building. It's organizational dysfunction disguised as progress. When you have a generational talent like Caitlin Clark, every roster move should be designed to amplify her strengths. Instead, the Fever locked in aging veterans on max contracts while their 22-year-old superstar played through multiple injuries. This isn't just bad management, it's a fundamental misunderstanding of how championship Teams are built in modern basketball.
Inclusion of Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark, second season, while she remains the franchise centerpiece for the Indiana Fever, one of the faces of the league, not one of the faces, the face. It was a year Clark will likely want to put behind her as it was plagued by injuries. Clark appeared in just 13 games. While she was productive during that stretch, she never fully gained her health. She dealt with an injury during the preseason, suffered a groin injury early that year that caused her to miss time, then suffered another groin injury prior to All-Star break that ultimately ended her season, on top of the ankle injury. Now with 5-on-5 activities set to begin this month, Clark can use the offseason to return to full form. She already has several exciting developments planned.
Listen to this sequence carefully. She dealt with an injury during the preseason, then suffered a groin injury early in the year that caused her to miss time. Later, she sustained another groin injury before the All-Star break, the one that ultimately ended her season. Add the ankle injury on top of that, and you're looking at 4 separate injury incidents in one season. 4. This isn't a player who's injury-prone. This is a player who's being mismanaged. And here's the part that should worry every Fever fan. The pattern started in the preseason, before the season even began. The warning signs were there. The medical staff knew. The coaching staff knew. Yet they kept pushing her into a system that clearly wasn't protecting her body. Now
that she's about to be doing some 5-on-5, I think it's very much needed. Like I said, I think that this year Caitlin Clark needed to offseason. She needs to be playing 5-on-5 somewhere and not just doing that one-on-one individual stuff. You know what I mean? So this is a big deal. It's a big deal, man. And I can't wait for her to be
I want Caitlin Clark to train elsewhere with someone new. That's the breaking point statement everyone seemed to overlook. When fans are openly questioning whether their franchise player should train outside the organization, that's not mere criticism. That's a crisis of confidence. And honestly, he's right to be concerned. Look at how other generational talents approach their off-seasons. They're competing in pro-am leagues, running full-court scrimmages and staying sharp against elite competition. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is still limited to 2-on-2 drills in late October. The gap between what she needs and what she's getting is only growing wider. But here's where it...
See how the finals was officiated differently. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. The finals definitely was officiated differently. They was calling a lot of fouls. You saw now Asia Wilson. She has a different type of whistle. 19 free throws. She shot more free throws than the Phoenix Mercury entire team. But they definitely started to call more fouls in the finals for sure. And I think going forward, that's going to be a point of emphasis for the refs to eliminate a lot of the physicality and to call the game tighter. And I think that benefits Caitlin Clark because, just as a viewer, nobody wants to watch these girls run around.
They definitely started calling more fouls in the finals, and that's going to be a major point of emphasis for referees moving forward, to cut down on excessive physicality. This is the hidden key to everything. Caitlin Clark's injury issues aren't just about training or coaching philosophy. They're about the physical punishment she endured all season. When the league allows that level of contact, skilled players get hurt. It's that simple. Asia Wilson shot 19 free throws in one finals game, more than some entire teams. That's not because she suddenly became more aggressive. It's because the league finally started protecting offensive players. If that officiating standard carries over into next season, Caitlin Clark's game could transform completely. No more getting hammered on drives. No more uncalled contact on her shots. Her efficiency skyrockets.
I think Adam Silver will see to it. I don't believe in Kathy Engelberg. I don't trust her, but I believe that Adam Silver will step in and get this deal done, and we will have a 2026 season. I also believe that
and her injury risk plummets. But there's still one massive obstacle standing between her and the MVP season everyone's expecting. Some believe Adam Silver will step in to make sure everything gets resolved, and that the 2026 season will happen. But wait, this isn't about 2026. This is about the CBA negotiations happening right now. which will determine whether there's even a 2025 season. The players are demanding guaranteed contracts, higher salaries, and better travel conditions. If those talks collapse, Caitlin Clark's entire third season vanishes. All the discussion about her 5-on-5 return becomes meaningless if there's no season to return to. The pressure on Adam Silver is enormous because everyone knows the truth. The WNBA's surge in popularity is directly tied to one player. Without Caitlin Clark on the court, the momentum
Obviously only played in 13 games last year, basically missed a full season. A full season of play. We had to watch everybody else try to do their thing, and we saw some good players, but nothing is as spectacular as seeing CeCe on the court doing her thing, loading up logo bombs, throwing those wild assists, getting those triple doubles, putting on a show for the people. We missed that. She's one step closer to making her big return.
He only played in 13 games last year, essentially missing an entire season. During that time, we watched everyone else try to step up. There were some good performances, sure, but nothing truly spectacular. This is the uncomfortable truth that exposes the league's biggest problem. For decades, the WNBA has tried to build stars, develop talent, and craft compelling storylines. But then Caitlin Clark arrived and exposed the reality that none of it had truly captured mainstream cultural impact. The moment she went down with injuries, viewership plummeted, attendance declined, and social media engagement vanished. It's not that the other players lack talent, it's that they don't move the needle, and that creates a dangerous dynamic.
On the court, doing her thing, loading up logo bombs, throwing those wild assists, getting those triple doubles, putting on a show for the people. We missed that. She's one step closer to making her big return.
Bombs, wild assists, triple doubles, pure showtime. We miss that. That's what makes her special. Not just the stats, but the entertainment value. Caitlin Clark plays basketball like it's performance art. Every game feels like an event. Every possession holds the potential for something you've never seen before. You can't teach that. You can't replicate that. It's generational talent meeting fearless creativity. But when that kind of brilliance gets stifled by conservative coaching or compromised by injuries, everyone loses. The fans lose entertainment. The league loses relevance. And Caitlin Clark loses the prime years of her career. Which brings us to the ultimate question. Can the Indiana Fever actually build a championship team around her?
Caitlin Clark is going to have an MVP type season. I just believe that. I believe the GOAT is about to show up, and
I believe Caitlin Clark is going to have an MVP caliber season. I just believe that. There's the prediction, MVP in year 3, but notice what he didn't say. He didn't predict a championship. He separated individual excellence from team success because he knows the organizational dysfunction makes a title unlikely, and that's the tragedy unfolding in real time. Caitlin Clark can dominate individually, put up historic numbers, and win every personal accolade imaginable. But if the Fever keep making catastrophic roster decisions, if Stephanie White continues running a system that clashes with her strengths, and if the training staff can't keep her healthy for a full season, none of it will matter. The window for championship contention is smaller than people realize. She's entering year 3. Most generational stars win their first title by year 5 or 6. The Fever are already behind schedule. The question isn't whether Caitlin Clark will be great, it's whether Indiana deserves her. So what happens when she finally returns to 5-on-5 action? Does the system change or does she have to? Drop your prediction below. MVP season or another injury-plagued year? Because the